Good morning, wrestling fans. Today is Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. I am Lance Brock, and thank you for tuning in to this Tuesday morning episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. Hope everyone is having an amazing Tuesday wherever you are in the world. And on this Tuesday morning episode, we'll be talking about last night's WWE Monday Night Raw. And tonight we have WWE NXT also returning to USA after airing on Sci-Fi the last 2 weeks. But now that the Olympics are over, WWE programming returns to USA this week. And without any further ado, let's get into last night's WWE Monday Night Raw. And Raw was live from the Moody Center in Austin, Texas. And we started off things with Rhea Ripley talking about the trail of Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan escaping with her Women's World Championship at SummerSlam. And then eventually she was interrupted by the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan and Dirty Dominic Mysterio, who were in the crowd. And they exchange back and forth promos for a bit, the three of them, and turns out that Rhea Ripley was just distracting them, and talks about him being able to find out where they were. And then behind Dominic and Liv, we see Damian Priest. Damian attacks Dominic, and Rhea makes her way through the crowd up the stairs and chases Liv Morgan off. And then this leads to our first match of the night on Raw. And it is Damian Priest taking on Carlito of the New Judgment Day, with Damian Priest getting the win. And Dominic tries to sneak an attack on them, but is caught by Rhea Ripley, and she goes for the Riptide, but Liv pulls Dominic out of the ring, saving him. And Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley stand tall in the middle of the ring. Next up, we have, I don't know if you'd actually call him a new member of the New Day or just a friend of the New Day, Odyssey Jones in action. But before the actual match, we saw them in the back. And there once again is kind of more tension teased with Xavier Woods maybe not being 100% on board, with Odyssey Jones coming in and joining the New Day. And Odyssey Jones is in action against, I forget the first name of his opponent actually, but I do remember the last name because it is actually Whiny, and Odyssey Jones of course destroys him. And he is actually part of the NIL thing in NXT there at the Performance Center. I know John Pollock was actually saying he's only had a few handful of matches so far in his career. And then we get the New Testament saying that Kofi Kingston is using Odyssey Jones to replace Xavier Woods, kind of planting the seeds there. And then we see Chad Gable, who was in Paris for the Olympics and making his way back to the United States. And before I get to the tag team match, we see Alpha Academy backstage, and Ivy Nile tries to get Maxine Dupree to join this newly formed American-made stable, but she says Otis and Akira Tozawa are her family, so she turns Ivy Nile down. And tag team action next, American-made taking on the Alpha Academy, and it's a Texas Tornado tag team match. All four men can be in the ring at once, and Ivy Nile comes out of nowhere and attacks Maxine Dupree for turning her down earlier. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee talk about how they have been friends for a while now, and Ivy Nile attacks Dupree on the announce table. That distracts Otis, and American-made gets the win, defeating the Alpha Academy. And next up we have Damage Control, Io Sky and Kairi Sane taking on Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark in a number one contenders match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, but that ends in a no contest. Earlier in the night, R-Truth thought he was getting his partner The Miz a title match against Braun Breaker. Looks at the monitor, sees the graphic, but it is The Miz versus Bronson Reed. And Randy Orton tries to give The Miz a pep talk going into this match. And now it is time for that match. Bronson Reed versus The Miz. No surprise here, Bronson Reed getting the victory, defeating The Miz. And now it is time for our main event of Monday Night Raw this week for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker defending against Sami Zayn in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Sami Zayn strikes first, getting the first fall, but is Braun Breaker coming back with the next two to defeat Sami Zayn and retain the Intercontinental Championship? I'd say good main event for Raw this week. I think Braun and Sami actually work pretty well together. SummerSlam and last night's Raw, I'd say they had good matches. And I wonder what's next for Braun Breaker and the Intercontinental Championship. But good title defense last night from Braun Breaker. And that was last night's WWE Monday Night Raw. And that is all for the Tuesday morning episode of 360 Good Morning Wrestling Fans. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember, as always, you can go in the comment section and leave your thoughts and your opinions on last night's WWE Monday Night Raw, either right here on Spreaker, YouTube, or wherever you listen to 360 Wrestling podcasts at, if they have a comment section, and on X or Twitter, whichever you call it. I don't know what to say these days. But at 360 Wrestling Pod, the poll is already there now. At 360 Wrestling Pod, if you're not already following, go there and vote what you thought about last night's Raw. Thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, or thumbs down. I know I said that out of order, but those are the three choices. And I will be back right here tomorrow for the Wednesday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans to preview tomorrow night's AEW Dynamite as we get closer to All In, August 25th. And that is all. I will be back here tomorrow. Hope everyone else can join me. But until then, have a great pro wrestling day.